Now we're going to move on to our final topic, which is your boy, Jamahal Hill. And I want to say this, right? Probably a lot of people have seen him in the headlines going off against Yuri, going off against Magomed, just still talking about the Alex Pereira loss and saying that he felt like the whole thing came down to incorrect movements or decisions by Herb Dean. I think, I just had this epiphany over the weekend in my own life. One thing that I think helps people move forward and just feel more positive and be more proactive and productive is look, and I'm not a fighter and I don't know what it's like to go through what Jamahal Hill's going through, but I feel like if you can, even if maybe some blame you could arguably reasonably put on other people, I think if you try to do your best to take full ownership of the situations that haven't gone your way, man, it relieves a lot of anxiety and pressure that you're otherwise just always going to have this hatred or anger towards a third party or another person about something not going your way. But just be like, wait, yeah, maybe something they did, they shouldn't have done, and it would have impacted the outcome. But if you're just like, well, forget that. They're going to do what they're going to do. I can't control that. But maybe if I would have done this instead, or if I would have done that instead, and take ownership, I think you'll feel better internally, because I know that's how it is for me. And you can actually use that loss or use whatever went wrong on your end to make yourself a better fighter. And I think, unfortunately, Jamahal Hill seems to be trapped in this cycle of, although he could just be doing this to make headlines. I don't know, right? He's really smart. But I think that's the problem, is he sort of seems to be trapped in this cycle of, like, to some extent, blaming external forces in terms of what's happened recently. Now, I'm going to play you a quick clip here from Jamahal Hill, and then Justin, I know he's your boy, so I want to hear your thoughts on what's going on. But I will say this: good, bad, positive, and negative, he's getting headlines. So we are getting everybody's talking about this Yuri fight. So check this out. Oh, we need to unmute this. Sorry, 1 second.
Versus Yuri set for UFC 311. The two have gone back and forth on social media, with Yuri saying that Jamahal hasn't shown anything special in his last 3 fights. Jamahal responded to this by saying Yuri got dominated in his last fight against Alex Pereira, while he only got caught. He also points to Yuri.
So which is kind of like, just to start off, it just feels like a kind of like a silly debate, right? Like, two people lost, and he's like, but you lost. Oops. Sorry.
Jamahal Hill said,
he's like going on about, hey, but you lost worse because I got caught. And like, it's just like, why are we even like, it just seems silly. It's almost like, if you get 30 cents and I get 31 cents, I'm like, yeah, man, you only got 30 cents. You suck, dog. But I got like 31 cents, like a little bit more. And it's an arbitrary value. Like, it's like, what are we really arguing about? But anyways, let's watch a little bit more. So this is what him going back and forth with Yuri is all about. One thing I will say, though, that is cool is I've never really heard Yuri talk smack. And he's like, Yuri's getting all up in arms about this, which is kind of making it more which is definitely making it more interesting. But let me play a little bit more. I accidentally rewound it.
Says he's better than Yuri Prochazka. Jamahal hasn't shown anything special in his last 3 fights. Jamahal responded to this by saying Yuri got dominated in his last fight against Alex Pereira, while he only got caught. He also points to Yuri's win against Glover Teixeira not being as impressive as his win over him. But what do you think? Jamahal Hill says he's...
Yeah, that's also like a weird thing too, where they both beat Glover Teixeira, and then he's kind of trying to diminish his victory against Glover, saying, yeah, Glover was dominating him the whole time, and then Glover made a mistake, and that's what he was able to capitalize on, versus Jamahal kind of really dominated that entire fight. Anyways, Justin, like, what do you make of this? And I know you and Jamahal came up on the Michigan scene together, so I know you've known him for a long time. But yeah, just give me your thoughts on Jamal's mindset. What do you think is going on right now, and how do you think it's going to affect the fight?
I'm concerned for Jamahal because he cannot get over this loss to Alex Pereira. Like, bro, that happened so long ago. Stop blaming. Like, Jamal's my guy, man. And so if he sees this, if he's offended by it, that's fine. Like, I'm saying it from love, but we need to get over this, because no matter how much you bitch or complain about it, it's done and it's not going to change. All right. Whether you're right or wrong is irrelevant. We need to focus on the task at hand. And this is why John Jones is the best in the world. If John Jones just lost to Stipe, when he has another fight looked up, he's not going to be talking about Stipe anymore. Just like before, when he was fighting Stipe, he wasn't talking about Tom Aspinall, even though everyone was trying to provoke him to. Jamahal Hill has a very, very tough task ahead of him, regardless of how he feels about the fight or not. It's a tough fight. And he's still talking about Alex. Bro, we have a fucking dog in front of him. If he loses to Yuri, the chance of him getting his title shot back is dropped from he wins, he gets it, or if he loses, now he has to win 2 or 3 maybe, and depending on how he wins and who he beats. But I mean, the champion mindset is the next pass. You know, Brett Favre said it best. You know, they talked about him being a quarterback and he always threw so many interceptions. Brett Favre said, I don't give a fuck. He goes, I'm going to throw an interception and I'm going to walk off the field, go right back on the field. I'm going to throw another interception and I don't give a shit. He doesn't talk about before his next set, oh, well, the defender this or the defender. No, fuck it. He's chunking balls and whatever happens, happens. And Jamal needs to do the same thing. He needs to get over that interception with Alex. And he needs to focus on the next set of downs with Yuri in front of him, because if he's not focused, he's going to find himself looking up the lights once again. And I hope he doesn't blame it on something like Herb Dean or something again.
Now, I will say this, pretty much every analyst that I've listened to is picking Jamahal Hill in this fight. Again, primarily just because he's clearly, you know, the more technical fighter. Yuri is a very unorthodox fighter. Dude, I just saw a video, by the way, too, of how Yuri trains. It's insane. He trains in this outdoor. Have you seen this? It was posted a month ago. He trains in this outdoor area, and he's like, he uses this wood board that he punches with like a little bit of, I don't know. It's just really unorthodox. It's not like a typical gym. It's out in the open. It just seems very bizarre. But if you look at their two fighting styles, Jamahal Hill is just a classically trained, you know, he's got really good fundamentals and foundations with every part of his game. It's again, kind of like when Yuri Prochazka fought Alexander Rakic, and it seemed like Rakic was clearly piecing him up and was winning that fight. I don't know what happened. Yuri just would not relent. And Yuri's got an amazingly strong mind. I'll give him that 100%. And he's an amazingly fun fighter to watch as well. But I think as long as you can maintain your mental composure and stay in there, as long as Jamal can, I just feel like that differential in the foundations and fundamentals is going to go Jamahal Hill's way. I mean, do you feel the same way?
I feel exactly the same way. Where Jamahal Hill's going to lose this fight is if he's thinking about Alex, if he's thinking about the title. Listen, this is not a title fight. This is not Alex. All right? You already had that chance. You lost. You blew it. It fucking sucks. We need to get over that and stop. Like, you need to forget about that shit. We got to go to the next thing. And the next thing in front of him is Yuri. And if he goes in there with a clouded judgment, like when Yuri's walking out or he's walking out, he's like, all right, I have to beat this fight so I can get back to Alex and try and get that loss back because, you know, Herb Dean stopped the fight bullshit and less than that. Like, that's not it. Hey, I would love to say Jamal, hey, you know what? I fucking lost, but I'm going to beat Yuri. Because technique-wise, I think Jamal handles him 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
If he goes in there with a clouded mindset, I mean, I don't know. I don't know, and that's my fear for Jamal.
Last thing I'll say on this before we wrap up the show, what is the likelihood that Jamal is doing all this just because he knows it's going to grab headlines and doesn't actually feel this way? Do you think, what percent chance do you give that?
I don't give that a chance. I don't think that's accurate. I think Jamahal Hill really feels that he was cheated against Alex. I think he's really bothered by it. Again, I wasn't in the position, obviously, from a guy watching and being a fan of Jamal. Personally, I'll be straight up. And again, he's not going to like me saying this. I didn't think it played a factor. I don't think it played a factor at all, regardless of what I feel Jamal feels it did. So I don't think Jamal would come up headlines just, you know, talking about Alex and, you know, that he should have won just because it's bringing up headlines, because it's not bringing him good headlines. You know what I mean? Like, people are calling him a baby, a whiner, you know, this and that. And so it's not, these aren't like positive things that he's getting back to. I mean, I guess being in the headlines, even negative press is positive press, but I'd rather have him, you know, people say, hey man, like, fucking Jamal really ate that loss, you know, even though there was some weird shit, you know, and now he's on, now he beats Yuri, and now everyone's going to be excited to see the rematch against Alex.
All right, fair enough. Last thing, we'll point out some comments from Tehran, and we're going to wrap the show. I think grappling, cancels out. Oh, he's talking about Aljo fight. Wait, he made a post here related to Jamahal Hill. He said, even Justin Gaethje isn't talking about his loss to Max Holloway. He actually gave Holloway props. Yeah, it does seem like that would, of course, be the better way to go. Maybe Jamahal Hill will get there before this January fight. But anyways, that's it for today, guys. We got a lot of exciting stuff coming up this weekend. Cannot wait for this UFC 310 card. I am super excited. And I'm going to try and watch the entire thing. I'm going to try and watch all the prelims as well, because it's outside of UFC 300, this might be the most stacked card of the year. So anyways, thank you guys so much for joining. Please click the like button if you haven't done so yet. We really appreciate it. It really helps the video and the channel tremendously. And if you guys haven't subscribed yet, make sure to click that subscribe button.